Brilliant. Okay, so thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's just a way of kind of hearing from the client's point of view what the experience of working together was like, and just giving people a bit of an idea of kind of where you've come from and where you've got to. So if you could start by just kind of explaining what made you get in touch with me to start with, kind of what the kind of the push factors, the pull factors were, and a fly just landed on my head. That was great.
I'll just get straight into it and we'll ignore the fly. So basically, I contacted you in about November time, I think it was. I'd been moaning to a friend who actually recommended you because she'd been working with you for only a few weeks prior to that, I think. But basically, I'd put on weight during lockdown. I couldn't get to grips with losing it. I couldn't even get to grips with trying to get the weight off. Didn't know what I was doing. At the time, I was just trying to convince myself that it was okay, that I was bigger. It didn't really matter. I was getting older, that's just what happens, and I have to come to accept it. But really, I was pretty unhappy with the way I looked and the way I felt, and I didn't know what to do really. So when my friend Natalie recommended you, I thought, well, that definitely sounds like a good idea. I just needed the push and a bit of a reset really, and all the other stuff that came with the programme.
Brilliant. And so now we've done 12 weeks working together. How do you feel like things have changed from where you were to where you are now?
Yeah, I just felt so much better in every sense. I think it was first couple of weeks were hard because it was a bit of a shock to the system. But as soon as got into it, I could see the benefits straight away. I was sleeping better. I was eating less crap, so I was sleeping better. My skin was better. I cut out caffeine pretty early because I just didn't feel like I needed it anymore. I was just increasing my step, just moving more, doing the workouts. And aside from that, it just completely changed my outlook and my mindset because of a lot of the educational things that we were doing. And just learning just about the way how I need to nourish myself basically, and what happens as you get older, and all of these things were just really beneficial. So it wasn't just the nutrition and the training, it was everything else really.
Brilliant. And obviously you've lost weight, you've got fitter, you've got stronger. How's that impacted you, not just in weight loss, but just in terms of kind of the fullness of life?
Yeah, it's just, I've just created some really good habits, which even when I slip a bit, which you do because that's life, and I've had, big weekends and holidays and other things, the habits that I've created, with your help, have just really stood me in good stead. I just feel so much better. I lost weight, but I didn't expect to lose very much weight because I'm not very tall. I'm only 4'11", so didn't think, and I wasn't very big. I just knew that I had some fat to lose, but I lost quite a bit of weight quite quickly, which I've been able to keep off. And yeah, I just feel so much fitter and stronger, and being able to see the progression in the weights that I've been doing. Yeah, and everything's better. I feel more confident. I feel more like myself. And I don't think I've really felt like that since before I had kids. So it's been a big confidence boost as well.
Brilliant. And your kids are old enough now that you went skiing not so long ago. So
yeah. So yeah, they're now 5 and 6. So it's been a long time.
But I remember you saying when you'd gone skiing, there was a couple of things that kind of during that time and the week after, I remember you saying about, like that you were missing the routine of the breakfast that worked really well for you. Yeah. And also about the fitness that you felt compared to before, if you'd done that same trip. Could you elaborate on those two kind of themes?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been something that was quite good for me was just freeing up that mental bandwidth of thinking about what I was eating and what I should have for breakfast and then for lunch, and actually just planning that all out. So I've been meal planning pretty much every single dinner since we started, because I do the cooking at home, so it's been easy for me to do that. I've planned in what I'm going to eat when we go out for dinner, that kind of thing. And I've had the same breakfast every day, because I know that that gets me through till lunchtime, and it's a good balance of everything, and I enjoy it, and I make it the night before, so it's dead easy. And that's just taken away a load of headspace, so that's been good. But then on holiday, obviously, I couldn't make my own food or even choose what we were having because it was in a chalet. And I was really craving coming back and just going back to basics and just having the stuff which I know makes me feel better. Nice to have a time off and have food made and everything, but I didn't do the thing which I would have normally done when I got back from a holiday, which is then leave it a weekend, leave it till the next Monday, go on a diet because I'd eaten loads. Didn't do any of that, just got straight back into the plan just the next day. And yeah, I just carried on like normal because it just does feel like normal now.
And likewise on the holiday, were there any differences in how you kind of ate or experienced things on the holiday that were different than if you hadn't have worked together?
Yeah, definitely. I would have gone on that holiday and had all the cake every day just because it was there. Stayed away from the wine, didn't really fancy it, just had a couple of glasses of Prosecco in the evenings. Yeah, we were out all day. I think my fitness had definitely improved, so I found the snowboarding really easy. And yeah, that was it really. It was, slept well. I enjoyed it, but I didn't overdo it at all. And also it was just nice not to feel that I had to beat myself up about it. On day on holiday, we're like, oh no, I've eaten everything and I had to try and cut back tomorrow. I just don't have that anymore. So that's been really freeing.
Brilliant. And I suppose that's the thing, that some people resist having that structure and those habits because they think it's actually going to confine them. But what you seem to be saying is it's actually made you feel like you've got more freedom.
Yeah, I think feeling a bit more in control has given me more freedom, which is a funny thing to say, but that's how it's felt really. And also just letting go of all those things that years of different slimming club brainwashing has done. That's been really good as well.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I always say to people, like, you don't need a diet, you need a nutrition strategy for life, because we're not that far off in age, but we've grown up with low carb, low fat diet culture, and it's almost about unpicking all that, isn't it?
Yeah, and all these little food rules that you just make up for yourself that you don't know where they even come from. Like, oh, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, but actually you can, and I do, and it's just normal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we're actually almost like we've got a better relationship with food, so then we're unbanning food, and you can actually have things because you understand how to have them and not derail or go overboard.
Yeah, and I don't even mean bad things, but like if I ate a banana, I'd be like, oh, I can't have a banana. But really, it's just a piece of fruit, it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, so it was all really good. So it's definitely improved my relationship with food, and just
brilliant. And I think that's the sort of stuff that I aim to help people to do, basically. I guess the question will be, did you find it difficult to make those positive changes? I mean, obviously everyone has their own kind of journey and there's little challenges along the way, but as an overview, looking back now, did you find it difficult?
No, I didn't find it difficult at all. I suppose to begin with, it was the intrigue to see how these changes would play out and what would happen. But actually, it's not been difficult at all because it's real food. It's just good habits. I think doing the training has been fine because that's been really interesting to see the progression in what I can lift and get stronger. And And I mean, there have been some ups and downs, but you've been really supportive to help me navigate certain weekends or dips where I've just lost the plot a bit. But that's life, that happens. But I think having those strategies to get back on track and just knowing how to do it has just been life-changing.
And that's the thing, it's the consistency. It's about having a little bit of a wobble and having someone to talk to, and knowing that you have the power to go back on track keeps you going. Whereas if you're on your own, it can be weeks, months before someone gets back on track.
Yeah, and it's just now I just feel like all that learning's just planted in my brain, and I just know, even if I do go off a bit, I do know what I need to do now, and I know it will work, and that I can just jump back into it. But having said that, a lot of the habits that I've developed, I do on a daily basis without thinking, so that's completely changed. So even though if I know that something slipped a bit, I know that where I am is so much better than where I was before.
Which sort of leads me on to my next question, which would be, if we hadn't done this together, where do you think you would have been now? So we've done 12 and bit weeks of working together. If we hadn't have done that, where do you think you would have been now, sat here?
Miserable, because I'd have gone through Christmas and New Year having just carried on eating. I'd have tried to start something in January. I'd have given up. I'd have been too restrictive. I'd have given up after a few weeks. I just wouldn't have been able to do it. And and now I'm like just really happy in myself, and I can get dressed and think, oh yeah, that looks nice, rather than thinking, oh, it's so tight, and and I wouldn't have been able to do it, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it in 12 weeks. It would have taken me ages of stopping and starting. So yeah, I feel really proud of myself that I've done it.
And no, you've done brilliant. I think one of the things that was really great about you is because you work so well with structure, you were really great at like planning some stuff ahead that was like weekends away, meals out, etc. So you were so empowered because you were having nice meals, but you were making a choice that wasn't like a boom or bust situation. You were just knowing how you were structuring everything around it to stay on track.
Yeah, and I really don't feel like I've missed out on anything in the 12 weeks. Any social events or anything. I've just taken each day as it's come and just got on with it, really. Yeah, so that's been really good as well.
And so I guess in terms of the training, you trained at home. You don't have a home gym or anything like that. You were just training with some basic equipment, but you've still seen the results. I guess other than the question, which would have been, can you see results at home, which obviously you said you had, the other question that I have is how do you feel motivated to train at home when no one's like stood there talking to you on your shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, it's harder because I could very easily have got halfway through some of the workouts and just thought, oh, I don't want to do the rest. But I've made myself do it because I want to get to the end of the workout and have a tick in the box that I've done it. And actually recording what I've been doing and seeing the progression week on week, and just seeing if I can raise the weight slightly or get another couple of reps. I really like that. I like to know that I'm progressing at something. So that really appealed to me. And I make sure, very boring, that I have to do it on the days that I've set it out, because if I don't do it on that flies come back. I work out on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and the Monday one's easy for me to miss. And if I don't, and that rolls into the weekend, it'll never happen. So I have to do it on that day. And then even if I hate it whilst I'm doing it, it's then done and I feel great. So
brilliant. And that's the thing again about the structure and doing what, like, having the structure, having the routine, doing what you said you would, actually makes it easier in the long run. And having the habit tracker and all of that stuff makes you want to do it, because then you've ticked the box, like you say.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just appeals to me. So that it worked really well.
I think that's why I've put it in there, because it appeals to a lot of people, but even the people it doesn't appeal to, they come around to going, yeah, actually that made me want to do it more. So
yeah.
So I guess my final question would be, unless you had anything to add, what would you say to anyone who's kind of sitting on the fence going, I'm stuck, I failed at other things before, why is this going to be different for me? Should I do this? Have you got anything that you kind of reflect from your own experience on that?
Yeah, I think for me, it was a big investment financially to do. And I was worried about that, because I just thought, oh God, what if I can't make it work, or what if it's just not for me? But it was worth every penny, because it wasn't just the money that I laid out for the 12 weeks. It's just changed my mindset and my attitude and my outlook. And I think going into I'm 43, so going into my mid 40s and menopause and all of that, I think it's just really set me up for what's to come over the next 10, 15 years. So that's why it was, for me, it was worth doing. It wasn't just a quick fix for me. It was something that I needed to sort out and take control of now, before I left it too late.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's the thing, because it's around habits as well, and it's got the education, it's empowering you to be able to take that forwards forever, basically.
Yeah, and I think just not that it was just I'm going to stick to this for a few weeks and then lose the weight, and then I'll let it go again, and and don't feel I'm in that cycle anymore. I'm not even in the start again on Monday, binge at the weekend, start again on Monday. Just all of that's gone. It's just, I might have a bad day, but then it's only a bad day. I'll go back to my new normal the next day. And I just didn't ever have that mentality before. So that's why it's just been brilliant.
Fabulous. Yeah. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover with you. Thank you very much. But I don't know if you had anything that you feel like you expected me to ask that I haven't, or that you wanted to cover that we haven't.
No, I think that covers everything.
Brilliant. Okay, so thank you again so much for kind of sharing your experience. I'm going to press stop on this now, so I've got to remember how to do it.